Frank Lampard has Coventry top of the Championship, unbeaten in the last 9 games, scoring a breathtaking 27 goals. In this video, we're going to explain how the Sky Blues have scored such a variety of goals, the key skill set of Frank Lampard as a manager that nobody is talking about, and why this fantastic start is not a flash in the pan. And let me tell you about something else that isn't a flash in the pan either, the fun that you could play playing today's video sponsor, Match Bingo. If you like bingo and you like football, this is the perfect game for you. Every free kick, corner or goal could be your ticket to a full house and a fantastic chance to win some great prizes. If you're over the age of 18 and live in the UK, grab the Match Bingo app today, deposit £10 and get £10 free. That's some casual football fun in a bingo format for just a tenner. This is the EFL style bingo card for you on the screen. You have 15 teams, and when your team scores, they turn purple. 2 lines win a prize, and a full house wins you the main prize. It really is as straightforward as that. There are other cards to choose from too, even ones for specific matches, from goals to corners. If you predict those outcomes correctly and you've picked that game and got yourself a bingo card for that game, you could be on your way to winning some fantastic prizes. As a little incentive for you right now, if you download the app and use the code JWP, when you deposit your first £10, you get yourself a free £10 and also receive a 100% deposit bonus. Download the app using the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. Now, of course, as always, it's a bit of fun, so please make sure you play responsibly. Thank you to Match Bingo for sponsoring today's video, and on with the show. I think that most people now in modern football feel that the tactical elements of a team have become a lot more fluid and at times less structured. That's not to say that tactics don't exist, because of course they do, but it's the idea that instead of solely focusing on a team's system, it's actually just as important to understand the unique roles of each team within a side, something that I think Coventry and Frank Lampard have got spot on. So that got me thinking, when simplified, how does a team score and how does a team create? Well, I think it comes down to 3 main points. The first, confidence and expression. The second, unpredictability. And the third, quality of players. And I think we can all wholeheartedly agree that this Coventry team has all of those elements in abundance. I listened to Frank Lampard's interview after their win over Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend, and I noticed he kept praising the feel of the team. So I thought, what does that mean, and why is that less tactical observation, if you like, important in a successful side? Well, I think it links heavily to the first of our 3 points, confidence and expression, because we all know that when players believe in their abilities and believe in the abilities of their teammates, they communicate better, they collaborate a lot more effectively, and they naturally feel a lot more comfortable taking risks. This is Thomas Asante's second goal against Sheffield Wednesday last Saturday, and I think it totally captures everything that we've just spoken about. Coventry win the ball back in the final third, more on that later, and he's now inside Sheffield Wednesday's box, looking to attack it with plenty of options around him. Options that you'd say would be classed as slightly more sensible options, perhaps. He could play into Haji right, to Sakamoto, could play backwards, slightly more cautious, could flick it behind to 2 players that could have a free run this way, but he doesn't. He doesn't do any of that. And even Sakamoto here is, if we drive it forward a little bit more, Sakamoto makes a run almost across Thomas Asante, and he could ask for the ball there as well. Instead of doing that, this is a player playing in a team with utter confidence right now, totally trusting his abilities, and instead he continues to dribble. As we show here, continues to dribble, takes lots of players out of the game, shoots, and finishes into the bottom corner. Now, this is individual confidence taken to a whole new level. This individual confidence, fueled by Frank Lampard's management, allows Thomas Asante to make a bold choice. In this instance, it's a shot on goal. It could be a brave pass into the middle of the pitch. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. It's about creating an environment that allows players to be comfortable expressing their confidence. There were other opportunities there for Thomas Asante to make other decisions, but instead, he trusts what he knows he can do, and he pulls it off exceptionally well. Coventry are currently averaging 3 goals per 90. If they kept that average up for the entirety of the season, they'd score 138 goals. Now, although that is extremely unlikely, it definitely emphasises the point that no other team is anywhere near them when it comes to creating and converting chances. There was one word that kept coming up when I was doing my research on Frank Lampard and his managerial methods, and that word was freedom. Something that Frank Lampard has always done is give his players the freedom to express themselves and never be overly bogged down by the strict structural elements. They can still be organised, they can still defend as one. It's not a case of letting players do what they want when they want to. It's not about that. But their brilliant variety of individual players allow them to be one of the most flexible, easy on the eye teams in the division. This is actually Thomas Asante again, this time against Millwall, and we're going to use this clip a little bit later to highlight something else. But once again, it's the confidence on display that blew me away. It is remarkable. He snatches the ball off Millwall's centre-back, and as you can see here, he is now through on goal. Now, how many times do we see, let's just get to this position here. So many players are shooting, and he could have shot. There's an option to shoot here, for sure. And so many players would do that. However, instead, Thomas Asante appreciates the fact that if we move it forward a little bit more, he is drifting out wide. And the goalkeeper has done a pretty good job of closing the angle in this moment. So instead, he uses his excellent ball control. As we move it on a little bit further, he does continue to go wide. The goalkeeper's positioning is pretty strong. He does now dive in, but he's using that ball control, Thomas Asante, to completely go past the goalkeeper here. And still, in this moment, again, so many players, and this looks quite simple, but we'll see it, they'll fluff that opportunity. Now, they could shoot and score for sure, but they also could completely, under pressure, fluff this chance. He still, in this moment, has the composure to look up and play a brilliant pass across goal to Haji Wright, who has done the right thing, by the way, because as we'll come on to later, we're going to look at this clip again. Haji Wright initially flicks the ball on to Thomas Asante that leads to him winning the ball back and getting himself through on goal. And Haji Wright's done the right thing by following that and heading towards the back post. But Thomas Asante's confidence to beat the goalkeeper and still have that composure to look up, find the pass, and then eventually the goal comes from it, I think is so special. Now, I've made that whole move sound pretty simple, and I promise you, it is not. But it did help me notice how the confident mindsets of these players has led to a total composure under pressure. This Coventry team has almost removed the fear of mistakes, and by doing that, they've been able to make clear decisions and execute their abilities with very, very little hesitation. I mean, there was very little hesitation in that move there that we just saw. And that confidence doesn't just lead to great individual moments, but it gives Coventry the ability to create and score so many different types of goals. It's the variety, that unpredictability that makes them so dangerous. To really contextualise how unpredictable Coventry have been so far this season, I can tell you they've scored the most goals from set pieces, registered the second most direct attacks, scored the second most fast break goals, recorded the most high turnovers in the league, yet have also averaged 53% possession. I mean, that is mental and takes attacking flexibility, variety, and unpredictability to a whole new level. And this goal shows us how comfortable Coventry are sometimes going a little more direct. They're not afraid to play vertically. And this move starts with Coventry's back four in possession inside their own half. And you can see there isn't a great deal of passing options around him. He could play into Victor Torp here, but he's surrounded by Derby players. The safe pass out to Grimes is a possibility. Could play to another centre-back here as well. But again, these are safe options. And Coventry, as we'll come on to later, want to force the opposition back line to engage early. And if they can get that ball in the final third quickly, they've got the quality to hurt teams. And you can see here, if we move it on a little bit further, Kitchen looks up and pings a beautiful pass direct into the on-running fullback. And if we move on, the pass is exquisite. And if we look at how this entire move unfolds, we move it a little bit further on as well, you can see this cross into the box is just inch perfect. And the way that Coventry use their fullbacks is also incredible. And unsurprisingly, Mason Clark, he pops over the back post and scores. It took 2 passes, a direct vertical pass forward, an exquisite cross, and that's all it took. Coventry, unsurprisingly, sit top for most accurate crosses per 90, whilst also registering the most headed efforts in the Division 2. I mean, at this point, what can't they do? And this example, again, is showing Coventry's ability to play slightly more direct. But it also gives us a snippet into our next point. But we'll come on to that in just a moment. This all starts with Carl Rushworth. He's just taken a goal kick and the ball is flying across the pitch and it's landing on the head of Haji Wright. Now, Haji Wright wins the header, flicks the ball on, hoping that Thomas Asante, who we can see here, is going to run on and get in behind. Now, the flick itself, I mean, it sort of goes to plan. You can see he does win the header. It's a great leap. It's a great header. But it doesn't directly go to Thomas Asante's feet. So he has to chase it down. It falls to the Millwall centre-back. And Thomas Asante doesn't give up, as we've just seen here, wins the ball back. But it's the desire of Thomas Asante who smells blood, presses aggressively, snatches the ball off the defender, and goes and scores. I actually mentioned this on a video I did on Coventry earlier this season. And I think a clear method of Frank Lampard's attacking ideas is to constantly find different ways to keep opposition backlines honest. Now, that could be forcing them to make quick decisions, putting them in uncomfortable scenarios, whatever it may be. It comes back to the overarching point about being unpredictable, being flexible, and showing countless layers of variety. Another layer of Coventry City is their ability to press high up the pitch. And what I love about this example is they're winning the game, Coventry, 2-0, as you can see from the top corner of the screen. It's nearly the last 20 minutes of the match, and Birmingham are a man down. I mean, if you're ever struggling to find a definition of the word relentless, I think we've just about found it. This is Victor Torp here, who is a central midfielder for Coventry, who's ventured and pressed into Birmingham's box. Again, there are other Coventry players around this Birmingham potential build-up opportunity here. And Victor Allslop, who is the Birmingham goalkeeper, is on the ball here. And what Torp's doing here, although he is forcing the goalkeeper to make a quick decision, which he does do, he rushes it, and it's a poor one. He's also stopping this passing lane here out to Christoph Clara. Now, in an ideal world, if you look at it from a Birmingham perspective, you want to really be passing out to Cash in. That's the safest chance of not messing this up. However, they don't. And something that Coventry knew full well was how Birmingham absolutely loved giving the ball to the midfielder, dropping in between the central defenders. And you can see that's exactly what this Birmingham player is doing here. He is dropping in between the split of this Birmingham back line. And they want to go into the play here, turn out, and play from there. And Coventry knew that. So what do they need to do here? And what did they do so brilliantly that nearly led to a goal in this moment? So you can see here, if we zoom in a little bit more, the body language of Jamie Allen here. He has been totally aware of this. He spotted that's what they're trying to do. And he's on his butt. You can see by that body language, he's on his bike straight away. If we skip it forward a little bit more, he's just runs really, really quickly to aggressively press the midfielder. Now, the pass is a poor one because, again, Victor Torp hasn't just stopped this passing lane. He's gone very aggressive on the goalkeeper and he's forced him to make a decision quickly. He's rushed it. The pass is bad and Jamie Allen intercepts the pass. And within seconds, Coventry have now got a brilliant opportunity to score with Birmingham totally all at sea. The defenders are out of sight. The midfielder here doesn't win the ball. You can see now Coventry have got an opportunity to have a go on goal. Now, they do actually mess this up. If we go forward a little bit more, they should do a little bit better here. Haji Wright and Victor Torp get in the way of each other. But again, they do go on and score another goal in this game. It is Victor Torp. Now, we have already seen this clip and we know how the goal is eventually scored. But it's a brilliant example of Coventry winning the ball back high inside the opposition's half. Now, Lampard's team have won possession back in the final third 4.8 times per 90 so far this season, the second most in the league, whilst also registering the second most number of shots from high turnover situations, which is a brilliant return. Now, the reaction of Mason Clark here is exceptional because if we start this move here, it's Mason Clark on the ball, facing up Iorfa, the Sheffield Wednesday defender. And if we just go forward here, classic winger, good winger, taking his player on, showing that ability to take a player on 1v1. But he does lose the ball. Iorfa does well. He wins the ball. Mason Clark's on the floor. And now Iorfa has the opportunity to run. He passes it back as he regains possession to Barry Bannon. He then gets the ball back here, still comfortably inside his own half. Now, what I love about Mason Clark here is he's the player who's just lost the ball, who was on the deck, and he now goes and wins it back. And the reason why I think it's so important, and it's really, really encouraging to see and refreshing to see, is how many times do we see it? Maybe because I support Oxford United, and this is what our wingers sometimes do, and our attackers sometimes do, but I think it is common. It's the idea that the player that's lost the ball can very, very easily sort of just be a bit lazy and almost out of petulance try and win this ball back and give away a foul, which is so frustrating. It's not a lazy tackle. And you can see if we skip it forward here, he wins the ball back and suddenly Coventry are in possession, and you can see just how many players now Coventry have got ready to attack and how deep, by the way, how deep this Sheffield Wednesday back line is. I mean, they've got players in this back line that aren't meant to be in the back line. Barry Bannon's here, and you can see it is totally all at sea here. They are not in a good shape, and that's a really good example of Coventry putting an opposition into an uncomfortable scenario, reaping the rewards. And of course, Coventry now have an abundance of players reacting quickly to the situation, able to form a heavy overload in the final third. And as we saw earlier, it's Thomas Asante receives the ball and goes on to score a brilliant, brilliant goal, and it's 2-0 to Coventry. I think what we've really learned today is Frank Lampard has found a crucial balance between structure and freedom at Coventry City. You know, why not play long with the height and athletic abilities of Haji Wright in the front line? Why not give Thomas Asante a free role when he has the skill set to carry the ball, drift into wide positions, attack the box? Why not do that? We all know Sakamoto is most dangerous when he's isolated and given that space to dribble with the ball in wide areas. So go and create an overload on the right side, transition the ball quickly to the left, and give him that ability to cause havoc and space to attack. You've got those wing backs that are comfortable attacking advanced positions of the pitch. Go and let them get involved in the final third. It all sounds so simple, and he very clearly has got a tactical framework. You can see it in the way they press. You can see it in the way they build up, their use of set pieces and their organisation against the ball. But he's also built that around the players doing what they actually do best. In some ways, he's almost dropped that ego. He's not forcing a rigid style of play. He understands his squad and he's given them the freedom to express themselves within that structure. And very, very clearly, they're reaping the rewards.